All right, let's get started here. We just need to do the first circle, which happens to be C command, right? Right click, pick the middle. What's it? Diameter is 6, but we want the radius. If you look at the bottom, so it's going to be a 3 radius. There's our first circle. Okay, we know that we want to have a 0.0312 buffer or space around every component that's built into this float. So we know that nothing can touch this outside wall, so we need to create a buffer, right? So offset 0.0312, and we want to touch that outside one, and we want to go inwards because that's our buffer line. Okay, we don't want to be able to touch the outside, so we've got our buffer. This is the line that we touch for tangency for all the other circles, for tangent. Okay, so now that we've got our little buffer, let's create a center line. Do a line right at the center. Just kind of float your mouse over the outside circle and you'll find the center ticky point. There it is. F8 makes it straight, and boom, you got your line. There's your center line. We just want to have a line so we can put a circle in and move it up to the top here. And draw another circle right at the same point of the center of this circle. What's the diameter of that circle on the top? It is 2, so we're going to use 1 for the radius. Now I've got that. Now before I do that, I know that this is my dimension I want, so I'm going to come straight up. The top of this circle should touch the top of this circle right here. Okay? That means that I've moved it to the buffer position. Touch it, touch the top of this, zoom in there so I can see it, and it goes right there. I know that this circle is now sitting with my buffer amount that I need. That's what the directions say. All these pieces should have a 0.0312 space between everything. So there's my first one. Now, since I have this, I know that I need a buffer around this so nothing else touches this, right? So we're going to offset. Same amount, 0.0312, it's already in there. I accept it. And now I just do a click and I go out. And now if you'll notice, the buffers overlap. You see, the one from there overlaps to here, and the one from here goes to here. So they're overlapping. So there's my gap that I'm looking for. It's maintained. All right? So now, you've got to keep in mind that the outside is my thing. And before I go any further, I'm just going to change these two into a different layer that I set. And I'm just going to make it hidden so I can see them, so I can tell where they are. Really, they should be phantom. So let's go ahead and make those phantom here. Layer. Let's make a new layer. Phantom layer. And that layer should have a, what kind of line type? Phantom line type. What kind of color? Let's make it a different color like that. Okay. So let's take these two and change them to a phantom layer that I just created. There we go. So now I know where my buffer is. So I know what is the areas. My real stuff is the object. That's the one I want. Now I need another circle that goes between these two, right? So let's do a circle. What type? A TTR, which is tangent, tangent, radius, right? Tangent of what? Tangent of the outside buffer. Tangent of the inside buffer. What size is it supposed to be? It's a 3, so that means 3 diameters. So it's a 1.5 radius. Ah, there we go. So we've got our 2 tangents. Nothing is touching the outside circle. Nothing is touching this circle. This is the circle I want. I need a buffer around this one going to the outside, don't I? So offset. Touch this, and it goes outward. And there I've got my buffer. And there's my overlapping buffer on that one. My buffer on this one. So everything is good. I need to change this outside buffer to my layer that I like, which is phantom. And there we go. Now, the one that we're looking for is this circle in here. I don't need this center line anymore. You can get rid of that. It was just there to create that first circle. So now I'm going to do a circle. But now I'm going to do, since I don't know the radius, I have to use a command called 3P, which is 3 point. So I enter 3 point. Now it asks me, what's my first point? Well, I don't want that. I want it to be tangent. So I need to do TAN, right click, and I want it to be TAN of this, and then TAN again of this, and then TAN again. You guessed it, it's the buffer again. Boom. Now none of my circles are hitting. Everything is all good. I've got that overlap. If I offset this outward, that's my buffer. Everything is overlapping correctly. Nothing is touching each other. Everything's floating. all floating in suspension, right? So we're all good. I'll change the outside to my phantom so you can see it. Now you can see nothing is touching, everything's floating, and it's got the gap we're looking for. So I want to know what dimension is this? Well, there's diameter right here. And I click this circle on the inside, and that's the dimension I'm looking for, right there. And just to show you all my circles, what they're supposed to be, there we go. And as you can see, we followed all the dimensions according to the instructions, and this is the number I'm looking for.